This is Ted Bundy. He was a loving boyfriend to Liz Kendall. He was an amazing father figure to her daughter, Molly. And he was even a worker at a suicide prevention hotline. What an amazing guy. Now, the only downside to Ted was that he was a serial killer and killed about over, I'd say, 30 victims. But who needs to know that information if it ruins the aesthetics? For example, you see this cute photo of Liz and Ted together, all cozied up in front of a fireplace. Well, that very fireplace Ted used to burn the skull of Donna Manson. Also, these cute photos of Molly and Ted together, well, they're gonna not look so cute once you find out that Ted killed a girl who was only 12 years old named Lynette Culver. But like I said, we shouldn't really talk about them because they'll ruin the aesthetics of everything. Nowadays, true crime is a very popular genre where media outlets like YouTube and Netflix are constantly producing more and more true crime media. Shown by statistics, true crime is killing the game when it comes to documentaries, being the #1 subgenre. Now, you can question yourself why so many people love true crime. And for some, it's educational purposes. But like I said, for some, it's educational purposes. But for the majority of people, it really comes down to the curiosity of everything, the psychological aspects, the mystery, the storytelling, all these things that make true crime romantic. And this is highly reflected in media outlets such as YouTube, where individuals like Bailey Sarian and Stephanie Sue combine genres that are typically viewed as like casual, like doing makeup or mukbang videos, and combine it with true crime to make a whole new form of media. But just because it's successful doesn't mean it's ethical. When it comes down to it, true crime always focuses on the serial killer, because without the killer, there is no mystery, there's no psychological appeal, it isn't sexy anymore. Now, there is a case where the victim actually is talked about more than the actual killer, and that's with Black Dahlia, where a woman was brutally killed, being drained of her blood and being dismembered and dumped in a field. Now, even though she was talked about way more than her killer, the only reason was no one knows who her killer was. There's no documentary about her killer because nobody knows who her killer was. And also, the case is called the Black Dahlia case, but her name wasn't even Dahlia. Her name was Elizabeth Short. So it shows that, like, even when it's a case on the victim, it's never ever truly focused on the victim. I know a lot of people love true crime, and I'm not saying to get rid of true crime. But personally, I feel like true crime should be more centered around the victims and their families rather than the serial killers who killed the victims. A great example of this is Robert Wone, a man who was murdered in cold blood and his killer was never found. Now, this example is a cold case, yes, but there are also lots and lots of information on who Robert was as a person, such as he loved baseball as a kid. He went to William & Mary in college, and he was a really, really extremely nice person. And he fell in love with a woman named Kathy, who at the time thought he would never find love because she had lupus, but she found an amazing guy like Robert, and they ended up getting married. Honestly, if an individual really wants to watch something for mystery and psychological appeal, they should just simply just watch a horror movie or a thriller instead of watching a true crime documentary that focuses solely on the killer rather than the victims, because at the end of the day, these are actual people. These are actual victims. Families are constantly remorsing over their loved ones because 24/7 now they see a killer of their loved ones in the media being praised or being shown over and over and over again. And nobody really thinks about how it's affecting the family. So if you're an avid consumer of true crime, question whether or not it's beneficial for you. If you're really watching it for educational value or if you're watching it for entertainment.